you're a veteran, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the recent gathering of U.S. senior officers in Quantico to hear the Secretary of War and President of the U.S. Speak. What do you think?
Yeah, and usually what I do in these circumstances is I watch the speech and then read the coverage. This time I took a different tact. I was curious to see what the press view of what the statements. And you would have thought that he came out there and insulted generals and admirals to their face and picked them out and called them fat and et cetera, et cetera. And so, okay. Then I went and watched the speech. And I thought it was one of the more measured things I've seen. Look, for the people that are critical of getting rid of things like DEI and having physical standards and all of the things that were mentioned in these speech, I just want to know what war we've won since the beginning of the 21st century that would tell you that what we've been doing works, that how our military is structured and how we approach things is working. It's not. It's clearly not. We need a change of direction. Now, the what he's asking for, or what he's ordering with Trump and with Secretary Hegseth are demanding are in line with what I believe. I believe in in standards in the military. I believe in equality and not equity. I believe that need to be physically fit. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You should have the same exact standards. All the that grooming standards matter. All of these things matter very much. My time in the military in the 90s, I saw some of this stuff creep in at the very early stages. And at that time, it was very divisive to units. I obviously have friends who served during the war on terror, some who just retired, who told me how, in one instance, one lieutenant colonel told me how one trans case dominated. He said it was around 90% of his administrative time that he had to deal with one soldier who created all kinds of problems and investigations within his unit. That stuff, that is not what a fighting force needs. We're either a social experiment as a military or we're a fighting force. Secretary Hegseth and President Trump want the U.S. military to be a fighting force. And that's what they're asking for. And I'm firmly behind this. I'm shocked. A couple of veterans I know were just appalled by this. And I turned to them and said, go watch the speech. Don't read about it. Go watch, take 45 minutes and listen to what Secretary Hegseth said. I thought it was very reasonable. It was well delivered. He's far more articulate than even I gave him credit for. I don't know how, if you're a veteran, if you're someone who served, how you can't support these initiatives.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear you say all that because, like, as far as the standards go, I've really enjoyed watching the left, the hard left in particular, the media left in particular, talk about this and give their views on how the senior brass are taking this, as if they have any clue what the military mindset would be. But they can't help themselves, and yes, they've got to fill up airtime. But look, if you've got the same standard for men and women, that's the definition of equality. That's it, right? And it's absolutely true. Nobody gives a shit what your gender is on the battlefield. You got to perform, right? And so you set that standard, and if a guy can't meet it, too bad. If a woman can't meet it, too bad. That's just the way it is, right? So that I was very glad to hear because that makes things, I think, in a sense, you can't lower the bar continuously and expect you're going to get good, solid, efficient results over a period of time. And when you change standards, adjust standards, that's what you're doing. Whether you're trying to, meet recruitment targets or whether you're worried about, getting complaints from one gender or another, right? So, yeah, make that one standard, make it stick, and just get back to it. I don't care what you call it, whether you call it woke or whatever. It's nonsense when you're talking about, a military structure.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.